Delegate Johnson's coming in.
Okay, we are
So you have
successfully.
6 delegates now.
Okay, thank you, Cindy.
Mhm.
All right, it is 9 o'clock. We're going to go ahead and start the Harford County Delegation meeting for this week. Welcome to all of our guests. Just to let everybody know, this is being recorded on the MGA website for the public. So welcome everyone. And we do have a packed schedule this morning. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And we're only working with an hour opposed to the hour and a half that we've had in the last 2 sessions. So I am going to open us up in a word of prayer. Please bow your heads. Lord, thank you for yet another wonderful day to do the people's work. May we continue to look for your guidance as we move forward. Amen. And then we have Delegate Shalega, if everybody would stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to let Delegate Griffith in. Delegate Riley.
I'm sorry.
Delegate Griffith is coming in.
Okay. All righty. Just keep letting them in. All righty. Thank you, Delegate Shalega, for that. I'm calling the Harford County Delegation meeting to order. We do have an additional to the due to time constraints and legal time constraints on a letter that we just received from the Harford County executive in reference to our 2 liquor board appointees. So we will do that at the end of our delegation meeting. So please hang on, delegates, at the end. So we're going to open up. Do I have a motion to approve last week's minutes?
Motion to approve last week's minutes.
Thank you, Delegate Johnson. Do I have a second?
Second, Shalega, second.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Any opposition? Raise your hand. I see none. Motion passes. Okay, so the next item, we do have one more school bill out there that we haven't really had a full discussion on. So Delegate Impler, you're in the room. If you could please give us a brief description of what this bill does.
It should only take me about an hour and a half.
Well, we don't have an hour.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well,
Go ahead.
as all of you know, and it's something that I held public meetings over. It's also the same bill that we have in Baltimore County, and it gives the citizens, number one, the right to choose who their superintendent of public schools is going to be. They would know what the salary is of the superintendent before he runs for office or she runs for office. It would be based on the county executive salary and couldn't be more than 20% higher than the county executive's salary, which the school board could reset if that's what they wanted to do. There's provisions for removal. There's provisions for recall. And it would be nice to know what the platform is of the superintendent before we put him in trust of our students. So it's the largest expenditure for the county, the school system, and the superintendent should be answerable to us, which he is not right now. As you all remember, the very first time we met Dr. Bolson, he said the number 1 problem and priority in the Harford County school system was systemic racism. At that, all of us just looked with blank looks because we know Harford County is not a racist county and neither is our school system. And he was totally off the page with this, which shows he was promoting what was coming from the superintendent of schools for the state of Maryland, not what was coming from the people of Harford County. I thought it was insulting to the people of Harford County. With as many people as been going and demanding changes from the superintendent, he's done nothing about it. They've been called radicals and crazies and, basically attempting to hide from the very public that he's supposed to be serving. So last night, the school board reappointed him. And I'm going to tell you right now, if Dr. Bolson was running for elected for dog catcher, he couldn't get elected, let alone for the head of the school system in Harford County. I might be wrong about that, but the people would make that decision. So that is what this bill does. It gives the authority back to the citizens of Harford County to be able to choose who their superintendent is, what his salary is going to be, what he stands for, what his platform is he going to work to create more educational programs like vocational training back in high school? Because I would say our problems in the Harford County school system, other than indoctrination, are very small. They deal with drugs, out of wedlock pregnancy, homelessness, real problems that our kids are going through. Systemic racism is definitely not even on the list, and trying to teach our kids to hate each other because of their color of skin is not proper at all. So I support this bill. I think it's a good bill, and I don't see how the public could be against it.
Okay, thank you.
That's it. Any questions? I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you, Delegate Impleria, for being brief on that and explaining the bill. Now we are open to discussion on HB 336. Do I see any discussion? Okay. Oh, Delegate Johnson, I believe, was first.
Thank you. You said they just renewed his contract. Do you know how many years that's for?
I do not. I just got a blip last night that his contract was renewed.
I think
All right,
it may
thank
be 4, but I'm not sure. Maybe someone else could answer that. I'm not sure.
So-
Delegate
So
Basanti.
hold on, just a follow-up, Madam Chair. So
Oh, I'm
do
sorry.
we know what the buyout would be if we did something with him?
No, because just like all superintendent contracts, it's all top secret. The public never knows. I mean, I like Dr. Hurston and Baltimore County, but when he shook the county down for over $100,000 a year pay raise and the public didn't know about it after it happens, this is the problem that we have with these superintendents. And it's a very small window of people who can go for this job. My bill actually opens it up that more people would be eligible to run for that than what we have right now, a large group of people and new ideas. And we need new ideas for our kids.
Okay,
Thank
thank
No,
you.
I don't know what the buyout
Yeah,
would
and
be.
Delegate Johnson, we just confirmed it is a 4-year contract. So, okay, and now, are you good? No, okay, so we have Delegate Lasanti.
Yes, and thank you. And thank you to the sponsor for taking the time to write a bill like this. I think in listening to your testimony on this bill when it was heard in committee and listening to a lot of parents, I think there's a heightened level of frustration. And I think that your bill was an attempt to try to provide structural accountability. And I'm not sure that this is the right vehicle to do. I don't know if it's ready to go into this next step, but I think it really is a starting place for discussion of how we change the law so that parents are able to engage on a greater level with the decision making about their children. And at the end of the day, I think that was what your goal is. I think that maybe a decision like this, if we were to go this route at some point, that maybe this should be a referendum question and put before the voters of the county. When we make major structural changes to how our government works, I think that rises to a level where we need a greater input than just those of us on the delegation. So thanks.
And I can tell you, Delegate Lasanti, when myself and Delegate Bowler sat down and worked on these bills and met with stakeholders, we always said we would be in support of making it a referendum, bringing it to the public, see what they say. And that's a perfect example when there's an issue at hand and you may not agree with the issue, but you trust the public to decide, is this what they want? And right now we can elect our county executive and he's control of 50% of the budget. Why shouldn't we elect the other person who's in control with a 50% of the budget? And I do agree. I have no problem with making it a referendum question to put on the ballot and let people decide and let them have the discussion.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Delegate Lasanti and Delegate Blair. Okay, so any further discussion on this bill? Delegate Griffith?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And, we're working on a lot of things trying to, look at our Board of Education and consider the process. There's a lot of things about the bill I don't agree with. I don't think having somebody from California that we don't know at all be able to run for the most highly paid elected office in Harford County, this would it gives great power to special interests for this position. And it was just stated, it's certainly not ready for prime time. So I want to go ahead and move to vote on this bill right now.
Well, I move favorable then. I'm going to move favorable on the bill. If you want to vote.
I'm the maker. I'm the maker.
I mean,
of
we
the,
have
I'm the maker of the motion. I'm the maker of the motion. I have the floor.
Well, you didn't finish your motion and I beat you to the punch, and sorry to say, I'm going to move favorable. You can move unfavorable. But
Delegate
I'm moving
Valeria,
Hold
he
on.
had the floor.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
were
I was
not
just saying.
recognized.
Blair, I had the floor. I
Yeah.
did not yield.
All right, hold up, folks. Okay, so Delegate Griffith made a motion.
Move unfavorable on this bill.
Okay, do I have a second? There is a motion on the table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Delegate Arcan, second the motion. Okay, so the motion on the floor is to vote unfavorable on HB 336. Any further discussion? And Cindy, if you could please call the vote.
But wait a minute. Yes, I do have discussion. That was a little quick.
Well, you have
We're
to,
moving quick.
please raise your hand. Okay, go
But I
ahead.
couldn't because
Go.
you had moved to Cindy before I
Okay.
had a chance to reach the
Okay.
button on Zoom. But, it's sad. Here we go. We have an ongoing problem with our school system. We continue as members to throw up different solutions and they're all rejected. And when they're rejected, what we're saying, we're good with the same old thing. So by voting this bill down, not even considering it for a referendum question, you're saying, I don't trust the public. The public isn't capable of voting for the superintendent, that the system that we have right now, and we can lie to the public and say, this can bring an unqualified person from California. The current system we have can bring an unqualified person from California. So let's just be honest about this. What you're saying in voting against this bill is that you think the system that we have works. You think that there is a problem in Harford County schools with systemic racism, and you think Dr. Bolson is doing a good job and there shouldn't be a different solution. That's my feeling. That might not be
Okay.
yours, but that's what my
Okay, but-
feeling is when you vote.
Okay, thank you,
against the
Delegate
bill.
Blair.
Thank you.
You've made that point. Thank you very much. Delegate Shalega.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I just would like to say we do not have a referendum before us. What we have before us to vote on is House Bill 336. And, we don't have time to belabor all the points of this bill, 13-page bill, but I would like to just point us to page 4, where the bill says that an individual to be elected as a superintendent has to have a doctoral degree. And I just don't think that's necessary. It, has a paragraph 2 has a master's degree and 20 years experience. Roman numeral 2 has a doctoral degree and 10 years experience. I would tell you that some of the smartest and best managers I know do not have a doctoral degree, and many don't even have a master's degree. So there are many technical reasons in this bill that I'm going to be supporting the unfavorable motion. And I just don't think it's ready for prime time, and it does not have a referendum on it. And if you want a referendum, this full piece of legislation, it's just hasn't had, it's not ready for prime time. Thank you.
Well, and I'd like to
Oh,
answer.
hold on,
You don't have the-
Delegate Blair, you're out of order.
Yeah,
You
Okay,
don't-
we
I'd
have-
like to answer what
You
I
are
just
out of
heard,
order.
because
Cindy, could you please
that-
mute
that
Delegate
isn't-
Blair? if you
that
can't
isn't
listen to the
true.
rules? All right, thank you. Thank you, Cindy. Delegate Griffith.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And again, my concerns with the bill, again, I know we're working hard trying to, look at the Board of Education. And I've mentioned before, I do appreciate the effort. However, we were working on this last year. Things got delayed for a variety of reasons. We're here again. And then now even looking to make this a referendum would push this back even further when the matters in front of us this session to address items on the ballot this year. So to continue to delay this feels like we're trying to not solve the problem. So no, I believe by moving unfavorable on this bill allows us to focus on the real issues at hand, which is the Board of Education, and solve real problems right now that are in front of us this year. So I will be supporting the unfavorable vote.
Okay, thank you, Delegate Griffith. Now we have Delegates Arcan.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My most sincere concern with the bill is that it really takes away the power from the school board to terminate somebody. If the person is elected, then the only way we could get rid of them is through a recall vote or through the next election cycle. And that is unacceptable to me. If the new school board that comes in decides they don't think someone is doing an appropriate job, I want them to have the power to be able to immediately rectify it and not have to go through an election cycle. So I'll be supporting the unfavorable.
Thank you, Delegate Arcan. And Cindy, if you would please unmute Delegate Flair if he has something new to say that he hasn't already said. You may do that now.
He has to unmute himself.
Yeah, there you
Okay.
go. You're good now.
So, Delegate Rowley, I don't appreciate the hostile efforts from the chair to
It wasn't,
cut down
Delegate
debate.
Flair was not hostile.
And listen,
were out
and
of
I'm just going to
line.
say
Yeah,
that let's
anybody
be
would have-
totally honest. Let's have honest answers. We have people that are listening. So when we talk about the qualifications, the bill increases the number of people that can run. All those people that Delegate Shalaga just mentioned, none of them are qualified at this time to be the superintendent of schools. So it increases it. And as far as it takes away the authority of the school board to remove a superintendent, that is all still there. None of that changes. That's all existing law. So, we're right. We have a right to give facts, but they got to be true facts and they got to be honest facts.
Okay, thank you, Delegate Flair. We're gonna-
Well-written bill. And we just can't lie about the bill and say that someone from California can be appointed. Guess what? Someone from California can be appointed.
Madam Speaker,
is-
point of
No,
order.
Delegate
That
Griffith.
That is the
you're out
truth
of
of the
order.
existing law.
I have a point of order.
No, Delegate Griffith. No, or I will do the same thing that I did to Delegate Flair. You can't be out of order. Okay. Thank you, Delegate Flair. That
Thank
was
you.
the last bite of the apple for you.
Yep, yep,
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. Delegate Arcan, do you have a final comment? If not, we're going to call the vote. Cindy, please call the vote on the motion on the floor. Unfavorable.
Delegate
Madam Chairman,
McComas,
before we take the vote, I want to be clear about this. So the motion was for an unfavorable. So a
Correct.
yes vote will be unfavorable. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
So we're voting unfavorable on the bill. So a yes would be you're voting unfavorable on the bill. A no would be you like the bill.
are we ready?
Yep.
Delegate McComas, please unmute yourself.
Well, my problem with the bill is.
It's Delegate McComas. Discussion is over. You should have raised your
Okay.
hand in the last 10 minutes. We're up to
I'm
vote.
abstaining.
Okay.
Delegate Arikan,
Yes.
Delegate Griffith,
Yes.
Delegate Impalaria,
I vote no. I believe the people are smart enough to elect their superintendent. So I vote for the public. I vote no.
Delegate Johnson, you're muted.
Aye.
Delegate Lasanti,
Yes.
Delegate Shalaga,
Yes.
Delegate Riley,
Yes.
that's 6, 1 no, 1 abstain, the motion passes.
Okay, thank you, Cindy, for that. So the motion does pass. The bill is unfavorable. Now we're going to move on to our new business. We do have some guests during our new business. We have a new liquor bill on the table, and it was a Senate bill originally from Delegate Mary Beth Carrozza in the Senate, and the Harford senators had placed Harford County into the bill. The sponsor has agreed to that. Now the bill has been cross-filed. We didn't have the cross-file over here, but the senator cross-filed it with the Worcester delegation. And we're going to ask the Worcester delegation if we can add Harford County, which I'm assuming they will say yes. The gentleman that is the chair of that committee is out right now. So we will actually discuss the bill today and then hopefully vote on adding Harford County to this piece of legislation. We do have some guests on the line. I don't know, is Delegate or Senator Casley's staff? I see Jenna.
Jenna's here.
Okay, Jenna, do you want to have the opportunity to just, I mean, it's fairly short bill, so you want to give us an update?
There's not really much of it, like an update. Just we had a couple constituents reach out saying that they would like this in Harford County and to see if we could add Harford County. They requested the amendment. Senator Carrozza was completely okay with it. So that's about it.
Okay. All righty. Thank you very much. So we actually have Phil Rudy on the line, and we also have Harry O'Neill, and they are in support of this bill. So I'm sure they will do a wonderful job in, introducing it as well and stating their support for the bill. And if you have any questions, we'll be able to do that after they speak. So I'm not sure who wants to go first. Mr. O'Neill, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll be glad to.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair, and members of the delegation for the opportunity to speak this morning. My name is Harry O'Neill. I'm one of the local owners of Independent Brewing Company, and I'm with you this morning because Independent was contacted for our opinion on SB 351 concerning our thoughts on whether this would be a beneficial change for Harford County to allow for a Class L license. So we did research and learned that Allegheny County already allows for a Class L license, and this cross support among manufacturers is allowed in other states as well, to the benefit of all local manufacturers there. It's a trend that's being adopted, and it is our opinion that Harford County should remain on the forefront of creating innovative economic opportunities for our businesses that also benefit the community. So what does this bill do? The Class L license only allows for on-site consumption of beverages that are only manufactured by another Maryland licensed manufacturer. That is, a manufacturer cannot sell for off-site consumption beverages from another manufacturer. So this is a niche offering for those who enjoy supporting local businesses and enjoy craft beverages. Although I'm sure there are exceptions, I'm not aware of any restaurants in the county that sell local wine or spirits from the small craft manufacturers such as Fiore or White Tiger. But even if there are, local manufacturers promoting other local manufacturers with products that tend to be higher in cost will be a big win for manufacturing of beverages in Maryland. This law, if also enacted in Harford County, would be very beneficial for not only the local manufacturers, but it would be economically beneficial move for Harford. The appreciation of craft beverages continues to grow, and this would encourage people from neighboring counties and states to visit Harford and spend their money at our local businesses. It'd be another reason why Harford County is a destination location and not a bedroom community to our neighboring cities. Senator Casley had posted last month that 1.3 million visitors spent $314 million in Harford last year, generating $49.1 million in tax revenue. That is awesome, but we can do better. And it's our responsibility as business owners and members of the Chamber of Commerce to create additional incentives for people to visit Harford and then shop at our local boutiques on our main streets, or visit the Promenade and Decoy Museum in Havre de Grace, visit the Discovery Center, take sailing lessons out of Joppa, or take a drive through the Northern County on the Mason-Dixon Scenic Byway to visit farm breweries. The allowance of a Class L license with manufacturers being able to expand and showcase craft beverages from across the state will further encourage visitors to Harford and will add additional benefits for Visit Harford to promote the advantages for organizers of festivals, sporting events, races, weddings, and corporate meetings to choose Harford over other counties. So we are in support of SB 351 and HB 1123. I think it'll be a big economic boon for our county and help us come out of the pandemic even stronger. So I'll be glad to answer any questions when it's appropriate. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. And now we'll have, does Mr. Phil Rudy have any comments to add, or?
No, I don't have anything to add. I just think it's a good bill. It's something that's going to take off statewide. Allegheny was the first. We do expect to see other counties, Worcester right now, and other counties are already talking about following the footsteps. So I think it would put Harford County in the forefront of progressive legislation to help the craft manufacturing industry. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rudy, for your comments. We do have Paul Madusky with us today as well, and he is from the Harford County Liquor Control Board. He's one of our commissioners. We do have a letter of opposition, or actually, I guess I wouldn't say opposition, but opposition the way that it is currently written. They have given us some suggestions of how to enhance the bill, and then they could possibly support it. So, Mr. Madusky, if you could explain your position at this time, we'd appreciate it.
Morning. Yeah, so we definitely, so I wouldn't say we're in opposition at all. I think it's a great idea, a great bill, but I think there's definitely some changes we would like to suggest or amendments to the bill. One of our concerns is this bill puts the breweries at not on the same playing field as the restaurants as far as pricing structure. The fee is proposed at $250 for the same for a restaurant to serve beer, wine, and liquor. Their fees are $3,000. So it's just a very large difference, and it doesn't put them on the same playing field as far as fee structure. Secondly, there's no cap to the number of samples given within the bill. So we think there should be a sample cap put on there, which is in some of the other liquor licenses. And I think we put language to reflect what some of the other licenses have as far as the samples, which is a half ounce for liquor and no more than 6, I believe it was 1 ounce offerings of beer or wine. There is no mention of food in this, and I think that's important, whether it's be, food served on site or prepackaged foods, as we do all realize that it is can be dangerous drinking on empty stomachs. And then the mixing, we were just curious on clarification. But one of the biggest things we wanted to add is, I think the intent of this bill is to serve local spirits or local wines at other breweries, other establishments. But there's no, the way it's worded, we think it should state that it should be Maryland products being sold at these establishments, and the way it's currently worded. So we definitely think this is a great bill. We agree with Harry that I think it will drive business to our county and grow. I think our constituents would all enjoy this, and it will make for great, even better atmospheres at these establishments that are currently great atmospheres. So we support the bill, but we definitely would like to see some changes to the language.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Dusky. I have a question. So, and hearing the and their support with the amendments, either Mr. O'Neill or Ms. Foley, do you know if the Senate is looking at any of these particular amendments to put onto the Senate bill?
We have the listed amendments. We're going to work with the other senators and try to come up with like an agreement with the
Senator Ferrer.
Worcester County delegation about it and see if they want the amendments for both counties or possibly just make it so that the amendments are just for Harford County.
Okay.
So they
So-
were gonna sit down and talk about it.
Okay, so they are working on these amendments for at least the Harford County portion, possibly both of the counties. So that's an important note for us here today. If we go for a vote to add Harford County to this, that, it's still a work in progress for us to go ahead and, add the Harford County, to know that the senators and the delegates on this side will work with the Liquor Control Board and bill drafting to put some good amendments on that. Okay, that's good information to know. Thank you very much. I believe Delegate Impler was first, has his hand up. Please unmute. Yeah.
Yeah, well, from the comments you just made, exactly what I was thinking. It sounds like this bill will not work for Harford County, that we need a separate bill for Harford County. And the only thing we're going to do with these amendments is put the shaft to our good friends in Worcester County and maybe kill their bill. All liquor laws are different from county to county. I mean, there is sometimes that you can amend one another bill, but hearing the concerns of the liquor board, I think we need a separate bill. And I don't know how we amend one. I'm not saying that it's a bad bill, but it doesn't sound like this is ready for prime time. It sounds like it's something that we need to work with the liquor board and the industry to try to get a bill that's more suited for Harford County. But that's my opinion. I've been doing liquor law for quite a while, and that would be my opinion. You don't change an entire bill for another county. You don't amend it separately for Harford County onto their bill. It would be a separate bill. It's probably not too late to put a bill. You might have to go to rules, but it's not too late.
Okay, thank you, Delegate Blair. Good point. Delegate Lasanti.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I too am interested in the concept, and having done alcohol policy for a number of years, I also understand that they're very different. And when you try to commingle alcohol bills from county to county, you really run into a lot of existing inconsistencies. But I have a couple questions, and Mr. Majewski, you're still, yeah, there you are. I had to look for your square. I have a question for you. Under the current tap room license, basically, and that's what we're really expanding, because that license was specifically designed so that a manufacturer may have a in their tap room samples of what it is that they purchase, that they manufacture on site. So, and there is a limit to how much of that they can serve over annually. Do you know what that is?
I'm not sure I don't have that, the verbiage in front of me. So
okay,
I'm
that's right. We can
comment
find that
on it without knowing exactly what the limit is.
Sure. But the point is, there is a cap. There's not an infinite amount of product that is manufactured on site that can be that can be sold.
Yeah, and I believe it is a 1 ounce offering of beer or wine, and that's up to 6 offerings. And then it's a ½ ounce each of liquor, and I believe it's 2 ½ ounce samples of liquor. I believe
but for the individual manufacturer, there is a cap on how much they can make and sell. And so when they have a tap room, if they divide that out to ½ ounce.
Harry might actually know that.
Okay. The point is okay.
Do you want Mr. O'Neill to answer that?
If he knows.
Okay.
If he knows.
Mr. O'Neill, do you know the answer to that?
I'll jump in that it comes from our state manufacturing license. I don't know the cap. Hopefully Phil will jump in with what that cap is, how many barrels that we can produce and sell on site each year. But that comes from our state license and not from
That's right.
the liquor
That's right.
license.
That's right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But the point is this: there is not an infinite amount of product that can be sold. It it is capped under their state license. So when you then add other manufacturers, you have an impact on that overall amount. Or if this bill were to pass, you have an infinite amount. You have so much for the individual product, and then all of the other products piled on. So I think this is this bill has a lot of work to be done to make it consistent with all other licenses that exist. And I really do believe that something like this needs to be a Harford County only bill, because I am concerned that as we try to amend this bill and make it consistent with Worcester County, it's not going to be. So there's going to be different rules for different counties, and that's very difficult to put into one statewide bill. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Delegate Asante. Excellent points again. We have Delegate Johnson, then Delegate Griffith.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. And I also have concerns, even though I really like the idea of bringing new products to Harford County, but I do have concerns with the amendments the Liquor Board is suggesting. They're pretty significant amendments. Do you happen to know when the liquor bill hearings are in the Senate? Anybody?
Yeah, the
March
last
4th.
time, yeah, I'm sorry.
March
Go ahead,
4th.
Jen. March 4th.
So do we have time then to let the Senate work with the other county to see what amendments they would be willing to accept, and let the Senate work on this before we vote on it? I mean, these are significant amendments, and I'd like to, before we vote, know if it can even be worked out with the other county. And if not, maybe we do have time to put in our own bill for Harford County, because I do like the concept.
Okay, thank you, Delegate
Thank you,
Johnson.
Madam Chairman.
Excellent points as well. And Delegate Griffith.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Mr. O'Neill, for working on this. And I certainly like the idea too. Would you be agreeable to avert, because this bill was, the original license was created to obviously try to help local business, our ag community, things of that nature. So would you be agreeable to a version of this that limited to other Harford County license holders? I certainly want to make sure that we're supporting each other in the county. And I wouldn't want to necessarily, with all due respect to other manufacturers, outside of the county who do great work, I'd much rather this benefit folks like White Tiger and Fury and some of our local producers. Would you be agreeable to a version that was limited to Harford County?
Well, I think that it would be limiting what the offerings could be. And I'm not sure that if each of the manufacturers who can provide these products were offering that the White Tiger could keep up with spirit production, because they are a micro distillery. And I think that there's other products around the state that would be really good to showcase, to bring them in to Harford County and make it a destination for those who want to try a old line distillery or try Bordy's winery offerings, to be able to come to a Harford County establishment to sample them, and then they be here and support our rest of our economy. So I think there is a promotional value to being able to offer more than just the limited production that we'd have here in the county. And I think that we would exhaust their resources pretty quickly.
I mean, I think that'd be a good thing, frankly. I think we would all agree if we were, selling out of everything, would be pretty happy. I guess my question is, but would you be agreeable to that, even as for lack of a better term, a pilot program on this? Because I want to make sure that we're not necessarily our local businesses who are benefiting from this. We're driving business outside of the county on a local bill.
Yeah. It would be our preference that we still kept it open to manufacturers in Maryland, because there's lots of small craft manufacturers that would benefit. Harford County, obviously, we're going to cross support one another as we do currently, and that will be our focus. But to just pigeonhole it to the few distillery, wineries, and breweries that we have in the county, I think might limit it. Plus, not all the breweries may want to sell for off-site sales to a distillery or to a winery. And so that would limit them as to what they would be able to offer, because it's going to go both ways. And this gives an opportunity for Fiore to drive more business out their way, which then would support the local breweries in their area. So it would be my preference that we don't go to that to just pigeonhole it to Harford County, and that we do keep it open to the whole state.
Thank you.
Okay, and thank you, Delegate Griffith, and Delegate Lasanti.
Sure, and I just want to follow up on Delegate Griffith's comments, and I agree. I mean, I think it's very important to support our small manufacturers and give them opportunities for cross-marketing and things like that. I think that's important. But to Mr. O'Neill's comment of opening up to other manufacturers, I think you end up drowning out the little guy, quite frankly. We've got, I mean, we work very hard in previous years to bring Guinness to Maryland, and Guinness would be a major player if this bill were to pass in Harford County, and that starts to drown out the little guys because people go to what they know, and I think that's a very slippery slope. So I just caution the delegation that the way this bill is written about anybody that holds a manufacturing license, that's a state manufacturing license, and that is a very broad category. And I think we have to be very, very careful that we're not injuring some of our small businesses. Thanks.
Thank you, Delegate Lasanti. I do see Mr. Rudy has his hand up, and that most likely will probably be the last comment on this particular bill. Mr.
I'd
Rudy.
just like to follow up on the question on how much we can serve for on-premise consumption. Under a manufacturer's license, it's limited to 5,000 barrels. I could do the math to calculate that, but that's a lot of, that's 155,000 gallons of beer, just give you an idea. So our cap as a manufacturer is pretty significant.
Okay, thank you very much for that follow-up. Delegate Johnson?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just had one more question for Paul. If we pass something like this, Paul, would this be an additional license, or would it be a transfer of a license to a different type?
So we put that in, I believe, our questions, because there is some language stating that you can't hold two separate licenses.
Right.
I'm trying to find it. I'm sorry. But there would have to be either language change to allow us to offer two different licenses, and one of the reasons being this does not allow off-site sales of alcohol within this license.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Paul.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Delegate Johnson. Okay, so at this point, we are going to leave this bill in the posture that the delegation is going to allow the Senate bill to hopefully work out some of these amendments over on the Senate side. And then once that happens, we can vote to support that, and then hopefully be able to add Harford County to the cross file over here if everything is worked out. Certainly, we do not want to kill another county's bill. So we'll see. Hopefully they'll be able to work that out, and we can address this in a later date. So thank you for our guests. Thank you, Mr. O'Neill. Thank you, Mr. Rudy, for coming on. Thank you, Paul, for the liquor board's concerns. We appreciate you coming today and answering our questions. So we look forward to working with you again, hopefully soon, on this same legislation. So thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Oh, please say.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Okay, we have to move kind of quickly. We do have some other guests with us from the Discovery Center of Water's Edge. And we do have session today, Ms. Jones. So we probably will hear the bell. So you probably only have about 3 to 4 minutes to give us your pitch. Thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate your time today. May I share a couple of slides?
Cindy?
If you can.
Yeah. Did you give her sharing ability? You have to do that, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, we may not have done
Okay.
that before, so she. We sent your slides to the
Okay.
delegation, but they have
Fine.
the copy.
That sounds good. Charlie, you want to go ahead then?
Okay, make sure I'm not on mute. Yeah. Madam Chair, thank you very much for the opportunity. Thanks for the support we've received to date in trying to build this Discovery Center. I have with me, obviously, Joan Nichols, our consultant, and Tim McNamara is our facilities chair. What we're trying to build here is a world-class science, technology, and heritage center. The 3 pillars: science, STEM-like education, technology. We want to show people tomorrow's technology today, and also the heritage. Aberdeen Proving Ground has been here for 100 years. Science started here at Aberdeen Proving Ground back in 1917. There's a tremendous heritage. We're fortunate to have Jim Falk working with us in providing an absolutely fantastic location for the Discovery Center right on the Bush River. There's a building now that we're looking to renovate and then eventually have a future expansion. The phased approach of this is to open a preview center in 2022. We're well on our way in terms of doing that. We've had support from the State Bond Bill, TAR corporate sponsors, from the Army Research Lab, and we have potential support from congressional and the governor's capital budget. In 2024, we're looking at making it operational. So the first part would be for people to come in and see what's coming. 2024 will be operational. The cost of that goes up significantly on the order of 4.3 million. And then eventually somewhere in 2028, we're looking at a $15 to $30 million facility for the ultimate vision. The current capital budget items would be modernizing the building, repositioning windows, basically making the building that we have suitable for a preview center. And in that would be entrance floor, classrooms, exhibit halls. We want to get started. We want to get something where we can start now with our vision. We're working with a design firm, ADW, on the facility content, on the facility construction, and we're working with a national museum firm called Quatrefoil in the content, what it's going to look like, what it's going to be as we go in. Joan, you want to mention briefly the outside, potential outside exhibits?
Sure. Basically, we have a concept for an outdoor classroom. We are riverfront, which is fantastic. But the picture that is there is basically a living shoreline with an outdoor classroom where students can conduct experiments. The other project is a playground. And I would say we are keeping these projects in our hip pocket in case we are successful at all of our fundraising activities. We would like to move these up and do these prior to phase 2. I think what we wanted to do to come before you today was to really kind of get in a habit of keeping you updated on this project. This is, our plan is that this is a real game changer for Harford County in terms of tourism, economic development, and certainly education. And you have been so supportive. Appreciate Delegate Lasanti getting us kicked off with the bond bill in 2018. And of course, this year we have the $750,000 in the capital budget. We just ask for your continued support. And I want you to know too, that we will be as transparent as we can possibly be with this project. It's going to cost a lot of money. It's going to be very complicated and involve a lot of parties. But we are happy to, let you know what we're doing and what we're up to at any point in time. Do you have any questions about the project?
Yes, I do see it. Thank you. I do see a hand, Delegate Lasanti.
Much. And I just wanted for the delegation's information, I just want to acknowledge that Governor Hogan has put $750,000 in his capital budget. That is a result of a bipartisan letter that came from Delegate Johnson, Delegate McComas, and myself, and with Senator Casserly. And so I'm really thankful to the governor for recognizing how important this project is and investing state money in that. So I wanted to make everybody aware of that as we go through the budget deliberations, that we have to protect that direct funding to this project.
Okay, thank you. Delegates and the senators that participated in that. Do I see any other questions or comments? Bell just rang. So sorry, so I guess it's just a few minutes. So both of you, Joan, Charles, thank you so much for giving us an update. Congratulations. Hopefully we can fight to keep that $750,000 in the budget. And hopefully we'll see you again in the next phase. And
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And delegates, please stay on for just a moment. We do have the county executive sent that letter for the 2 members of the liquor board to be voted on. We only have 7 days. The letter was dated the 14th. We just received it last evening. We sent that out along with the 2 applications. So what we'll do, like we've done in the past, we'll send that email vote out. And then if you could please get back with us by the end of tomorrow's business date, so that we'll actually do it by 2 o'clock on Friday, so that we can send the letter to the county executive of our vote of support or not support. So please stay tuned for that email to come out to cast your vote for the 2 liquor board appointees. And then also the meeting from our public work session from this past Tuesday. We are still working on getting all that information. It is coming in. So we're getting progress on that. So stay tuned to see the email of when we can actually set up a meeting for that. We're still trying to work on sometime Friday, just to let you know, may or may not happen, but hopefully that work session will be able to be completed prior to next Thursday's delegation meeting so that we can vote on those bills. So thank you very much. Watch your emails, please. And everybody have a wonderful day. And thank you, guests.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Delegate Schlega. Second.
Second.
All right, we have Delegate Lasanti second. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.